Welcome to the fourth episode of That One Thing, Fall in Love with the Process. I first want to start off by thanking you guys for joining us today. My name is Karina Shafalo, and it is a pleasure to have you on this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by RMK Productions Network, Tenant Title Podcast Network, and RMK Productions TV. Through the power of story, our mission is to uplift through voice, inspire, share stories and experience using the perspective of framework, teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, helping people every day. All right, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. Whether you are starting your day, you're ending your day, it is great to have you with us. And we're going to be getting into some good stuff, goal setting, falling in love with the process. So goals are goals, right? And I think they are so exciting. Being able to set stuff for yourself and then achieve them. It's almost like checking stuff off a list. So satisfying to me. But to get to those goals, you have to fall in love with the process. And if you don't like the process, you will never like the outcome because you most likely will not reach your goal. And the kind of analogy that I like to tell people is goal setting is almost like working, okay? If you don't like your job or if you don't enjoy your job, then it's unenjoyable in a sense. But if you love your job, it's almost like you're not working, right? And that delusion of not working, you love it, you're making money, it's all good, right? So if you love the process, then you get the goal, it's a win-win, all right? So we're going to be going over a few steps, but to begin, I want you guys to either grab a pen or a paper. If you're driving, if you're walking around, maybe just put this in your head right now. I want you to write off 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals. So short-term constitutes probably a week to a month that you would complete this goal. A long-term goal would be probably a month to a year to years that you are completing this goal. So you want to write down 3. So for example, a short-term goal could be something like getting an A on a paper. A long-term goal could be maybe getting a car, getting into the college you want, getting a house, anything like that. All right. So write down those 3, and then we are going to be coming back and pause this, come back, and then we're going to do the steps to loving the process. All right. So step 1 to falling in love with the process, you're going to want to reward yourself for your effort, not just your results. So Karina, what the heck do you mean by that? Rewarding myself for my effort. I give effort, whatever, and then I get rewarded for the work I do. Correct. However, I want you to go a step further with that. I don't want you to wait until you fully reach something to applaud yourself. I want you to reward yourself for studying that night, for running that mile, for doing something minuscule that will help you achieve your goal. And I want you to do it by maybe a physical reward. So I want you to have ice cream. I want you to go out. I want you to watch Netflix. So for example, if you study, 3-4 hours a night, relax, go reward yourself because it's going to make you want to do that more the next day and the next day after that. You're going to want to excite yourself. You're going to reward yourself. And always look for more with that reward. Always try to up the level each day. Try to do a little bit more and a little bit more. Give yourself even a bigger reward. And then you'll find yourself, giving yourself these crazy amounts of positive satisfaction and positive reinforcement that you will be a happy person in general. So step 2 is finding a process you already enjoy. So I love to work out and I love to go to the gym. But one thing that I hate is eating celery, right? So I'm not going to not everybody loves eating celery. Not everybody loves dieting. Not everybody loves doing legs, for example. I love to do my arms at the gym, but so I won't enjoy that process. I wouldn't enjoy going on a diet. I wouldn't enjoy eating celery for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just not in my forte. Now, if you are out there and you love celery and you love eating it all the time, great, good for you, love it. But I don't like that. And I'm going to do what I enjoy. You know what I mean? So you got to find a process. You got to make a process that you enjoy. So break the status quo. You don't have to go to the gym 5 times, 6 times a week. You can set up your own kind of schedule and then find what works for you. So if you're looking to change your physique, you're looking to maybe, up your bicep curl or whatever, I don't know. Find that process, but you got to go through trial and error. So you're going to have some failure. And like we talked about in episode 3 and episode 2, failure is a good thing. And if you have to go remind yourself of that, go back to those podcast episodes, because it is such a powerful thing when you fail. And I know that is counterintuitive, but you'll find out if you go back there. So break the status quo, okay? And get some friends involved, get some people involved. And we're going to talk about that later in this podcast, but get some other people involved to help motivate you, okay? So then step 3 is set a daily goal, okay? So you have this audacious goal. Now you have to set a daily process for it. Well, welcome to the world of simplicity, okay? So the truth is that most people are scared straight of simplicity because there's nowhere to hide, right? So you break it down to the most simplest thing, and now you're like, oh my God, I have to do this today, because this is like, I have nowhere to hide. I have nowhere to go if I don't do this. So for example, I got to get off the homework thing and the school thing, but I'm going to give you one anyway. So for example, you have to study these 5 pages tonight. Very small goal, study these 5 pages. There is nowhere to hide. You have to do this, right? So simplicity, making it simple for yourself. And, once you complete that goal, you're going to reward yourself, right? So daily process, set a daily goal for yourself and complete it, okay? So this is all going to be like a cycle. You're going to complete the goal. You're going to reward yourself the next day. You're going to set a goal, complete it, reward yourself. And what I like to do, and what I usually do in the morning, is if I have time, I like to write out my day. I like to write it out every 30 minutes. I like to write out what I'm going to be doing. Going into the bathroom there, putting in eating, not putting in breathing, but putting in like the smallest things down to the detail, okay? And that's what you're going to want to do, and you're going to want to implement those goals in that sheet. Now, if you don't have time for that, maybe doing it the day before. If you don't have time for that, maybe setting it by the hour or by the day, like in the morning I'm doing this, in the afternoon I'm doing this. But setting those goals and writing them down on a piece of paper and holding yourself accountable is huge. Okay. So what I usually like to do with people, and those are the 3 things we're going to be going over today: rewarding yourself, finding a process you already enjoy, and setting that daily goal, are the 3 big components that I want you guys to take away from this podcast. Okay. So it's time to bulletproof your environment. You're going to want to ensure your success through your environment. So how do you do that? Well, I like to break it down with the people I'm with. And what I like to do is break it down to the following. This is what I tell everybody. People, places, and spaces. Okay. The people, conversations, social connections, and relationships you're engaged with are ultimately going to set you up for failure or success with the goal you want to achieve. The places you're in, the environments, the workspace, the home life. How are you spending your time after the day? What are you doing? Spaces, similar to places, but you're thinking your immediate surroundings, your desk, your living room, your dorm room, for example. So places and spaces can kind of go hand in hand, but places are more like, where do you go home after a long day's work? Where do you spend most of your time in your surroundings? Surroundings are going to be the immediate things, okay? Are they positive or negative? Now, if you head back to episode 3, you could hear a little bit more about positives and negatives with people and places. But for right now, are they helping you achieve your goal? Are you in an environment where everybody loves to work out, everybody loves to be fit and happy and fresh? Or are you in an environment where everybody's kind of moping around, what am I doing today? I don't know what I'm doing. No. You got to set yourself up for what you think you need and what you think you can succeed in, okay? So people, places, and spaces. I'm going to go over them in a second, but let's go back to the 3 steps for falling in love with the process. Reward yourself for your effort, not just your results. Find a process you already enjoy and set a daily goal, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, are the people, places, and spaces that I'm in helping me achieve that goal? If yes, keep engaging, spending that time. If no, you have to make a decision and be ruthless about it. If you're inspired by the goal you want and you want it, you will get through any sort of people, places, and spaces that are negative. Okay? You know what you want, and you got to be ruthless about it, and that's how you're going to get it. Finally, my last step for falling in love with the process is having resources on the line. So urgency is rare and must be manufactured. If we're the only ones that know about this goal, it's going to be easy to back away and feel like you can't do it, and feel like there's going to be times where you're going to feel like you can't do it and you're going to push it off. But if you have people that are holding you accountable for those goals and that know about those goals, you're more likely to, prove them wrong or prove them right? So let's say you tell your friend, hey, listen, I want to own this car by the time I'm 20, and you're still friends with that person and you turn 20. Hey, Karina, where's that car at? When are you going to get that car? What are you doing? So holding your friends accountable for their goals, but then holding yourself accountable is important, but you're going to want other people involved in that goal, most likely. Again, it's all up to you, how you work, and you know yourself the best. But for me, what helps me to achieve a goal is maybe putting it out there and saying, hey, listen, I want to be able to do this when I'm 20 years old. Hold me to that, right? So right now, I want you to take a look at those goals that you wrote down. You wrote 6, 3, and 3, short-term and long-term. And I want you to direct yourself to a little bit more of the long-term goals, okay? And I want you to say to yourself, are the people, places, and spaces that I am in right now that I'm listening to this podcast, are they helping me achieve this goal? Or are they going to help me achieve this goal? I want you to take a minute, think about that, okay? And then I want you to flip over to the short-term goals and say to yourself, am I in the space right now to complete that goal? Where am I literally right now to complete that goal? And what can I do today to help me achieve that goal? So if you were at the beginning of your day right now and you're listening to this, what are 2 things that I could do today to put deposits in the bank on achieving that goal, right? So for maybe your physical physique, running a mile, can I fit that into my schedule? And ultimately, you're going to have to fit time in your schedule for the things that you want. And it's not going to be once a week. It's going to be almost every day, all day, every day. You got to be thinking about it. So guys, this was a pretty short episode, but I just wanted to give you a few tips to falling in love with the process and a few things you can reflect on and really take some time to deepen your focus on the goals that you want and then excelling in them. So I want you to find one thing that motivates you, and then I want you to share it with me on my Instagram at Karina Shafalo on Instagram, or at That One Thing Podcast on Instagram. And I want you to tell me one thing that motivates you, but then also a goal that you have completed and that you are very proud about, or one that you're setting for yourself and want to achieve at some point. I'll be sharing them on Instagram, and I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know. But I hope everybody has a great rest of their day and a great week ahead. Thank you so much for joining today, and I'll see you soon.